I am Shelly Kassen, and I am proud to be president of the Washington Institute. Thank you. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this 12th annual Scholar-Statesman Award dinner. It is not my pleasure to remind you what it looks like or what it looked like outside just a few minutes ago. And it's really sort of my pleasure, not really my pleasure, to tell you that our beloved executive director, Rob Satloff, is now on a bus somewhere in New Jersey. But it is my pleasure, the other half of this, to say that distinguished Ambassador Dennis Ross will be sitting and moving the evening forward, and I'm sure doing a wonderful job. So thank you, Dennis, in advance for this. Tonight, Institute supporters and friends from around the country have come together to honor two outstanding figures in the world of national security, Michael Hayden and George Tenet, and to, thank you. And to pay tribute to our beloved trustee, Joan Kahn. Thank you, Joan. Thank you, family. Tonight is also a celebration of the values that bring us together as Americans of all backgrounds, beliefs, and political affiliations. At a time of poisonous partisanship, the Institute is an organization that transcends political lines. For more than 30 years, we have had just one mission: to advance a balanced and realistic understanding of American interests in the Middle East and to promote the policies that secure them. The Institute has made an impact on American foreign policy in Democratic and Republican administrations alike. Our experts have proudly served under every president since President Reagan. The scholars who are here with us tonight could very well be joining the current administration or the next, regardless of party. Please take this opportunity to get to know them, and scholars, here's to you for all you do. So why do policymakers of both parties turn to the Institute? Of course, they trust the unparalleled expertise of the Institute, but they also know that we are a bipartisan organization that is supported entirely and exclusively by American citizens. Unlike other research organizations in our nation's capital, the Institute refuses to accept any funding from foreign governments, citizens, corporations, or foundations, and we never will. This unblemished record of integrity goes, thank you. This unblemished record of integrity goes back to the creation of the Institute, and it has been reaffirmed by every leader since. I would like to publicly thank the women and men who have made our success possible. Barbie Weinberg, our visionary founder, is in LA and could not join us this evening. Mike Stein and Fred Lafer of blessed memory carried on Barbie's work and expanded the Institute's capabilities leading up to and after the tragic events of 9/11. Former presidents Howard Berkowitz, who's here tonight, and Marty Gross, also in New Jersey, helped the Institute meet the revolutionary challenges of the Arab Spring. Thanks to these outstanding leaders and to the work of my friend and partner in crime, Institute Chairman Jim Schreiber, the Institute is the most diverse, most trusted, most influential Middle East think tank in Washington. Thank you all. Something else that sets the Institute apart from other organizations is the strong sense of family among our supporters. My predecessors created an organization in which we share our fears and our aspirations, our joys and our sorrows, whether they concern our nation or whether they concern our families. No one did this better than our immediate past president, Richard Abramson, of blessed memory, and his wonderful wife, Lorraine, also of blessed memory. And so it is only appropriate that I ask their son, Greg, to say a few words. Greg?
Thank you, Shelly. I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak to a group that meant so much to my parents. Within the last 3 years, my sister Jill and I lost our beloved mother and father, Lorraine and Richard, after courageous battles with cancer. I know that if they were alive today, they would be in this room, and that makes their absence so much more poignant. As many of you know, my parents were impressive people. My father was an Air Force officer who went on to scale the heights of business. My mother was a world-class runner who overcame the racism and anti-Semitism of her native South Africa to become a nationally recognized sports hero. They were both passionate athletes who applied the discipline and rigor of their training to everything they did, whether it was raising a family, pursuing a professional life, or leading organizations. They didn't just participate, they excelled. And through their example, their radiant warmth, and their profound nobility, they inspired those around them to excel as well. But our parents did not pursue success for its own sake or for their own self-gratification. They felt that as members of the community, they had an obligation to contribute significantly to improve the lives of others, not just for today, but for the future as well. It was fitting that our parents focused so much of their attention on extending and expanding the supporters of the Washington Institute for today and tomorrow. My father was a passionate advocate for creating a new cadre of young Washington Institute leaders. After his passing, the Institute created the Abramson Young Leadership Program, which involves those in their 20s and 30s in the work of the Institute. These men and women, in the mold of my parents, who are successful professionals with deep intellectual curiosity and a commitment to our national interests in the Middle East. They participate in briefings with the Institute scholars and conferences throughout the year. By day, they are immersed in the world of business. By night, they become policy wonks. I don't know how they do it. My mother, of blessed memory, adopted these young people as a second family. I had the honor of accompanying my mother to an AYL event just a short time before her passing. I know that there are several Abramson Young Leader participants here tonight. Would they please rise and be acknowledged? Thank you. When I see these young people, when I look in the faces of my daughters and my niece and nephew, when I see the success of the Washington Institute, I see the imprint of my parents. I take comfort knowing that their legacy lives on. Thank you very much.